Japan Anime News. Powered by Newtype. Yes, we're bringing you the latest anime information again this week. You know, during the first week of the new fiscal year, there's still some lingering atmosphere from before. But now it finally feels like we're truly in the new year, including the change of anime seasons too. So, from this new fiscal year, I'm a graduate student. I'm Hisanori Yoshida, a Japan broadcasting announcer. I'm 49, turning 50 this year. Now, this program is a podcast that delivers anime information to the world. Based on the latest anime news gathered by the KADOKAWA Newtype magazine editorial department, we'll be sharing information about the Japanese anime scene and anime culture with the world. This program is being recorded on April 14th, 2025, and we're using the multilingual voice translation tool Lingueene for translation. So please note that languages other than Japanese are translated by AI and may contain expressions that are not entirely accurate. And on April 10th, the May 2025 issue of Monthly Newtype was released with Mobile Suit Gundam Ziga X featured on the cover and as the lead special. Given how the movie turned out, I was really wondering what they'd do with Part 1, but there was hardly any mention of the 1-year war. Well, that makes sense. Starting from there could lead to misunderstandings. So from April onward, there's been loads of anime information coming out. This issue of Monthly Newtype has been selling incredibly well, even selling out at some online bookstores. And speaking of Ziga X, it stars Tomoyo Kurosawa, right? Coincidentally, Tomoyo Kurosawa just started a new serialized column in Newtype. When I read it, I was impressed by her writing skills. She writes essays reminiscent of Kuniko Mukoda. Anyway, I'd like to share with you all the information we've received from Newtype. First up, the anime To Your Eternity Season 3 has been confirmed to air on NHK General TV starting in October. Yoshitoki Oima's To Your Eternity is a work where, honestly, I thought the protagonist was incredibly innovative. It's truly a masterpiece, like an epic historical drama. But when I say historical drama, we're not talking about the level of following someone from birth to death or spanning 1 or 2 generations. This work goes far beyond that. After depicting the previous life arc in seasons 1 and 2, the series will finally plunge into a new chapter, the present world arc, set hundreds of years later. The teaser vision shows the immortal protagonist standing in a city illuminated by buildings and neon signage, suggesting a completely new era as the setting. I mean, wow. The protagonist's appearance has changed as dramatically as in, that time I got reincarnated as a slime. And here it comes. I knew they would do it. JoJo's Part 7 Steel Ball Run anime adaptation has officially been announced. The anime adaptation of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Part 7 Steel Ball Run was announced on the 12th during the JoJo Day Stage fan event held in Tokyo. Along with the announcement, a teaser visual, character designs for the protagonists Johnny Joestar and Gyro Zeppeli, and a special promotional video have been released. You know, adapting JoJo into anime is basically like a spiritual discipline. It's like everyone has this scripture, the original manga. Just as you have to build a temple exactly according to the sacred texts to be considered devout, they have to adapt the anime precisely as it appears in the original work. That's why the quality is so high. And now, moving on to our next story. The Four Seasons Proxy, Spring Dance, anime adaptation has been announced. Apparently, there's a novel called The Four Seasons Proxy Spring Dance, but I'm sorry, I'm a bit out of the loop on this one, so I'm not familiar with it. It's a seasonal tale by Kana Akatsuki, the author of Violet Evergarden, and it's being adapted into a TV anime. The studio in charge this time is Wit Studio. They're behind Attack on Titan and Spy X Family, among others, goes without saying. But this feels like they're really putting some passion behind this one. And this week, I just couldn't help myself and watch this MV, or PV, whatever you want to call it. Kokaku Kidotai has announced its official title for the new anime series and released the latest footage. It was previously announced as Kokaku Kidotai, tentative title, and since it's Science Saru, it's basically a production IG project, you know what I mean? I have no idea if this comparison makes any sense, but in my mind it's like when a rakugo performer does Bunshichi Motoi that was originally performed in Kabuki. That kind of feeling. It won't translate well for international audiences, and honestly, there are many aspects that even people who aren't fans of traditional performing arts won't understand. But that's fine. Anyway, it's that level of a big title. I'm not sure if I'm conveying how significant a Bunichi Motoi title is while I'm talking, but the official title for the new Ghost in the Shell TV anime series has been decided as Kokaku Kirutai, The Ghost in the Shell. Seriously? The second teaser visual and second special announcement trailer have been released. This means they're using the same title that Mamoru Oshii used for his film adaptation for this TV version. The main staff includes Moko-chan as director, with Dandan's assistant director. Series composition and screenplay will be handled by the SF soccer director, Mr. Azuma. The Empire of the Dead, well, that was originally meant to be the final work in Ito Keikaku's trilogy after he passed away. Actually, Enjuto, who was an acquaintance of his, continued writing it, and it eventually got adapted into an anime. To be honest, Enjuto's works are quite complex, but I feel like Ghost in the Shell can actually benefit from being complex. But then there's Science Saru, right? Science Saru doesn't typically go in the direction of complexity. Yeah. Their animation is incredibly appealing, but I wonder how this will turn out. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the team comes together. By the way, character design and creative direction will be handled by Shuhei Handa, who did an amazing job with Spriggan. As for the cast, well, if I may say so, Atsuko Tanaka has passed away. So I wonder if Motoko will appear, whether Major Motoko Kusanagi will be in it or not. Though in Ghost in the Shell, appearances don't really matter anyway, since everyone uses camouflage, so you never know what form they'll take. So that means the voice also... But, you know, one of the cool things about Patlabor is how the characters' personalities were really connected through their voices. I wonder how that will turn out. By the way, I checked that it's scheduled to air in 2026, and right now they've only announced some of the staff members, but even the way they've styled the fonts is incredibly cool. As expected. It feels like Science Saru really understands what makes animated content so appealing. And now, the stage greeting event commemorating the theatrical release of Yamato Forever, Level 31999, Chapter 3, Azure Asteroid. The film has just been released. And with the release, there was a special stage greeting event where I served as the host. From a news perspective, that's what happened. I should clarify that. In this Level 3199 series, Aya Hisakawa does actually appear. However, in this third chapter, she doesn't show up because she's been kidnapped and is sleeping. But the Yamato production team really wanted to bring in Aya Hisakawa. And for me, well, she's the Aya Hisakawa, right? She was Sailor Mercury and the goddess Skuld, among other roles. Actually, this was my first time working with Ms. Hisakawa. I was quite excited to work with her. During our time together, Ms. Hisakawa mentioned that she originally joined the Aoni training school because she watched Space Battleship Yamato and saw Aoni production in the end credits. She shared many other interesting stories too. Kiko Inoue is also in this. Kiko Inoue is in this. I'm not sure how much this will make sense to people who haven't watched Yamato, and this is a bit of a spoiler, but I'll just say it up front. Kiko Inoue plays the character from Star Corporation. The relationship between Kiko Inoue and, well, it's like from Nimi Kaoru's perspective, she's kind of like an ex-boyfriend's current girlfriend. So Kiko Inoue, well, originally Saki Hidaka would call Kiko Inoue Big Sister whenever they met, which itself was already awkward. Oh, she's like a goddess. She's basically Belle Dandy from that series. She calls her Big Sister. But regarding this work, there's this feeling of not wanting to sit next to her. When I was listening to the conversation, I thought, I see. And then, Han Megumi's in it again. So Han Megumi was there, and she was also at the stage greeting. There, they talked about how Han Megumi, who used to come along with Han Keiko when she was about 5 years old, has now become an actress and grown up so wonderfully. I thought, this is just like kabuki theater. It's like when a parent once played a role, and now their child is playing it. Or stories like, back then, I was in this position playing a different role. Anime has gradually built up its own history, and it's developed a certain gravitas in various ways. And one more thing. There was a Chinese theatrical animated feature called Yaozen, and they held a special screening with a stage greeting to thank the audience. I was the MC for this event too. I have no principles, I'll go anywhere if they ask me. It's a Chinese film, but they made a Japanese version. And this time, Masaya Sano and Toshiki Masuda from A Group were both there, as they're the dual leads. This was Sano's first voice acting role, so when he was wondering what to do, he went to consult with Kenjiro Tsuda, who, amazing. You can really feel the incredible quality in every single pixel from one edge of the screen to the other. It's already surpassed 1 billion yen at the Chinese box office. And Kenjiro Tsuda appears in this work too, just like in Yosen. He shows up playing a character who starts off drunk, has a secret, and is quite powerful. It's very much a typical Kenjiro Tsuda role. Well, I guess that counts as new information. Also, there are so many anime starting now. Lazarus is absolutely fantastic. Episode 2 was brilliant as well. And from what I was seeing in the chat, Summer Pocket is truly a key work. It really gives everyone that nostalgic feeling of a game being adapted into anime. So I wonder how people who haven't played adventure games recently but watch lots of anime feel when they see it. So, like those kinds of places. What else are you currently interested in that you've been checking out? At the moment, Gorilla. Yeah, Gorilla. I've been meaning to watch it but haven't gotten around to it yet. But director Ishikawa, who has seen Gorilla, says the parts where the gorilla keeps appearing are really funny. The feedback we got was pretty much as expected, like, yeah, of course it would be. And then there's Kulong generic romance and such. You know, I record this on Mondays, right? And Sunday night I was doing that live broadcast. Plus on Sundays, I'm usually at some event or taking an exam somewhere. Yesterday was like that too. And then after doing the live broadcast, today on Monday, I attended university classes during the day, then came here to record. And after this, I'm heading over to Masayoshi Oishi's place for a radio appearance. Which is fine, by the way. So that's the kind of schedule I'm dealing with. Which means I haven't been able to watch the shows that came out over the weekend yet. I really want to watch Apocalypse Hotel, though. So what else are you all watching these days? I think we should definitely share recommendations that have good reviews with each other. Zeta Axis. I wonder if they're going to cover the 1-year war since they didn't do it in episode 1, though the preview for the next episode suggests they might. Episode 1's subtitle was Red Gundam. Is episode 2's subtitle going to be White Gundam? Is it going to be such a festive development, red and white together? And the first episode of Zeta was Black Gundam, right? I see. I wonder how it'll turn out. Anyway, Zeta Axis is something everyone's watching, so it's the type of show that's fun to watch together. There's this famous writer on a service called Note named Nami Kishida. For those of you listening right now, this is being updated on the 18th, so you might just make it in time. I'll be having a book discussion with Nami Kishida at Book First Shinjuku on April 19th. We're scheduled to talk about this anthropology book. Nami Kishida, as someone who doesn't know Gundam, watched Zeta Gundam, but she couldn't get into the previous Gundam series because they were way too difficult to understand. Starting from questions like, what are Minovsky particles, to being told about particle field combat because Minovsky particles are dense, she wrote this hilarious essay complaining, why are you all talking as if I'm supposed to understand this already? You Gundam fans, seriously. It was incredibly funny. And among all the hilarious stuff, someone wrote, this time Zeong Axis is a Gundam you can feel. I was like, I see. And it really resonated with me. There's a preliminary announcement about a white Gundam. Oh, it's true. It's true. Does that mean we're heading into the 1-year war? What do you think? It's impossible to predict at this point. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. It's so great, really. A Gundam you can see in this beautiful art style is just irresistible. Seeing it with modern animation. Now that's all for the news this week, but we've received emails from overseas. Thankfully, we're regularly getting messages from 2 different countries. Thank you very much. First, we have one from Capeini. As always, thank you. Hello, Mr. Yoshida. This is Capein. I'm happy to see that we're now getting submissions from Spain as well. I hope we'll receive even more messages from overseas. Yes, I really agree with that. And congratulations on your graduate school admission. Thank you. I've been living in America for many years, and since the school year here starts around September and ends around June, I can't help but think, oh, spring is graduation and entrance ceremony season in Japan. This is something I find really important to note. There are many anime that feature cherry blossoms and spring themes, but I think many people outside Japan might not connect with the timing of the new academic year. Globally speaking, aren't there relatively few countries where school begins in April during spring? By the way, Your Lie in April seems to have many fans in America too. So here's the thing. Globally, universities start in September. We all know that, right? There's been discussion about why Japan starts in April and whether we should align with the global standard of September. But I remember social critic Shinji Miyadai once said something convincing about this. When asked if Japan should switch to September, he said, I think that's probably impossible. When asked why, he simply replied, because Japan has cherry blossoms. You know, that's why, when I heard someone say, that's what makes us feel like we're transitioning to a new year, I realized they had a point. Even if someone told us from now on, let's align with the global standard and start the year in September, it probably wouldn't work for Japanese sensibilities. That argument was incredibly convincing to me. The sense of celebration is different between New Year's and April. Without cherry blossoms, things like school entrance ceremonies or starting new jobs wouldn't feel right. Japanese people need those cherry blossoms to mark these transitions. April works for Your Lie in April too. The 4 seasons, right? Yes, exactly. And by the way, in the post you read last week, I mentioned how my college-age daughter, when visiting Japan in March, somehow ended up enjoying Korean food and K-pop merchandise shopping in Shinokubo. Apparently, she went there looking for rare items like Japan-exclusive merchandise. That's the trend with K-pop these days, I guess. For dining, it seems restaurants with signed photos of K-pop idols on display were also part of the attraction. Someone commented that it's like a pilgrimage to sacred sites, isn't it? Incidentally, she also went to Disney Sea because it only exists in Japan, so it seems she had specific reasons for her destinations after all. By the way, I posted about how my daughter went to Korea for sightseeing right after that martial law scare when Mr. Yoshida visited Korea in December, and she went to the Sergeant Kororo Cafe. It already feels like ancient history now. Yes, and now the Korean president is facing trial, right? That's what's happening next. My goodness. I wonder what the cultural situation in Korea is like these days. I imagine they're going through a lot. We talked about this before, didn't we? About the protesters waving those light sticks. And next up, hello, this is Barcelonianco. Yes, I'm still writing in from Barcelona. I listened to last week's broadcast. Thank you very much to author Mr. Nemoto for researching information about Doraemon. In the episodes aimed at lower elementary school students, they used the ikun honorific, and after each anime broadcast, they would talk about Giants information. Wow, really? Regarding the Doraemon broadcast in Catalonia, this is important information. Thank you. It seems the broadcast began on September 24, 1996, followed by 2 reruns. One at the end of 1996 and another in the summer of 1997. By the way, in Spain, it appears the show was only broadcast in the Catalonia region. I see. So that's how it was. I've been to Barcelona, and that area is Catalonia, which has a really strong identity within Spain. Right? They even have independence movements and such, so it's completely separate content. Just as I thought. It wasn't content for Spain as a whole. In Barcelona, the soccer population is overwhelmingly larger. I would imagine so. Even back then, Captain Tsubasa was apparently more popular. It's the same in Japan too. Between Dom-kun and Tsubasa, Captain Tsubasa was way more popular. Apparently among children who, like my wife, were hooked on Dom-kun. Baseball play, mainly magical pitch play, quietly became popular. I guess there aren't many people in Spain who play baseball anyway. And regarding Cha-Cha's songs for the opening and ending in the Catalan version, the opening was instrumental while the ending was sung in Catalan. So I looked into it a bit and, well, there are actually people who sing Cha-Cha's songs in Catalan. I wonder if the original artists know about this. It would be interesting to ask Matsumoto about it sometime, like, did you know that Cha-Cha's songs actually exist in a Catalan version? Apparently, having just an instrumental opening was quite rare at that time, right? An instrumental ending might occasionally happen, but an instrumental opening? I've hardly ever seen that when there's an opening theme. Cowboy Bebop was like that too, wasn't it? Ah, yes, that's right. Well, anyway, the point is that it was instrumental. Finally, let's talk about the master recordings of the Japanese anime version. Yes, after Studio Gallop was flooded, we're not absolutely certain, but there's information suggesting that these masters might no longer exist. So what about Catalonia then? At that time, for broadcasts in Catalonia, depending on the TV station, viewers could choose between Catalan or Japanese audio. Yes, those broadcast signals existed back then, just like how you could choose between Japanese audio or English audio for movies. The master tapes were apparently stored at Catalonia's TV3, pronounced TV3, along with other anime series. I thought there was a chance, but unfortunately the storage facility suffered a fire, and many of the anime masters were reportedly destroyed. And Dom-kun may or may not have been among them. We're currently checking with the TV station and contacts of contacts to verify this, so I'll let you know if we get any reliable information. Thank you so much for your incredible effort. But what is it? Does Dom-kun's master tape have some huge significance? It's like some lost major component. And from the perspective of organizations we don't know about, there seem to be people who believe Dom-kun's master tapes shouldn't remain. You don't often see this in Japan, flooding in Japan, then lost in a fire overseas. Is this like some Holy Grail war going on? I don't know if Holy Grail war is the right term, but there's definitely a lot of fate surrounding this. And that's today's shocking development in Japan anime news. But wouldn't it be great if they found it this way? Right? Yeah, that's true. The Japanese version must be included in those masters too. Who should we tell about this? Someone you know at Gallup? Is that it? We're trying to find a way to get this information to manager Ochiai. We should tell Fukushi. Ochiai Fukushi, manager Ochiai's son, is a voice actor. And he's really good, quite talented actually. I can get in touch with Fukushi, no problem. Well, at that time, I naturally thought of Ochiai too. But Ochiai himself was actually Japan's strongest batter back then. He was with the Chunichi Dragons and later became their manager. And the fact that Ochiai's son is now a voice actor is actually quite surprising in itself. Wow. Wow. This is the most interesting flow of conversation for a radio show. This right here. It would be pretty amazing if some fact came to light on our radio show and people involved started saying, "Huh, really? Was there anywhere else overseas where they aired it?" Domecon, I mean, that's right. Since they were confidently broadcasting it in places with no baseball culture, there's a possibility it aired in other countries too, right? What do you think? Are there any anime fans around the world who watched Miracle Giants Dome-kun? Anyone who remembers watching it? That's our Dome-kun insider information for this week. I never thought I'd be thinking about the Tokyo Dome this much in the Reiwa era. It was around the time when Tokyo Dome was first built, right? There's talk that it might not be strange to rebuild Tokyo Dome soon, so it's about that time. And so on and so forth. Please send us your thoughts on the program, anime news you'd like us to discuss, or if anyone knows about that Barcelona broadcast, or perhaps someone who recorded the TV broadcast back then. Maybe you have it on VHS. I'd really like to know. Our email address is janime242.com. That's janime242.com. The hashtag is janime. We're waiting for your posts with the same hashtag, so please share them. We'll bring you the latest anime news next week as well. Though the hottest topic isn't exactly the latest, is it? The hottest topic right now is actually about a work from over 30 years ago. This has been Hisanori Yoshida, announcer for Nippon Broadcasting System.